Hello everyone, GenmaTheSamurai here, and welcome back to this part of Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Alright guys, so last time we arrived here on the planet Ether looking for some Federation troopers, but unfortunately they all perished, and here we are trying to figure out exactly what's going on, and it has taken us to this temple. As you can see, since I jumped down here, I can actually no longer go back up there, which is actually a pretty classic piece of Metroid level design. You know, when they don't want you to backtrack after a certain point, they'll do that. Super Metroid did that a few times actually, which is pretty neat. Anyway, so here we are in the middle of this temple. We're gonna go ahead and scan that, and alright, so it says some unknown energy field is scrambling the scan wave. I see. Alright, there's a few other things in this room that we can scan, but I'm gonna save that for later. Alright, so we got some more of these dark creatures to kill. These things actually can be very scary because of how tanky they are, and I only have 5 missiles, so I'm actually going to try and save that as much as possible. I think these things do drop pickups, but I still want to be careful where possible because I'm not actually positive of that. So yeah, I could try and use 1 missile just to see, and if any of them do drop any missile pickups, that will actually be very helpful, but I'm not betting on it. Yeah, I don't think that one dropped any, so that wasn't worth it. But that's okay. Anyway, so there's another one just hanging out somewhere. Where is it? There it is. Okay, it was kind of hard to see. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this playthrough so far in terms of my commentary and everything. It's a bit different than how I did Metroid Prime 1, that's for sure. Oh yeah, so here we are at our first boss of the game. Wow, I almost walked into that. Okay, so yeah, this thing, this thing hurts if you get hit by it in hard mode. I just want to say that from the little bit of practice. Jeez, like I actually feel that when that thing like starts jumping. Like I actually react like it's actually jumping by my head. This game is like super immersive, dude. Okay. Oh my god, could you imagine hypothetically if there was like VR Metroid Prime? Oh god, that would be like terrifying, dude. Okay. I'd play it though. Okay. Could you stop, please? Jeez. I really don't like when that thing does that. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it is the first-person perspective, but man. Anyway, those good old riffs. As you can tell, it's actually doing something to this one as well, and it's called a Dark Alpha Splinter. Now, if I actually go and read the data log, I think it will actually spoil a little bit as to what's going on, so I'm choosing not to actually dive into the menus quite yet. Don't worry, we're going to get right into the Metroid flow soon enough. So far, we've been pretty much in like the introduction with all the plot and everything and the intrigue and all of that, and I just kind of want to soak that in until, you know, we're really into the game proper. And then I can start kind of showing off exactly how to progress more properly. So this is basically the same as Phase 1, except instead of hanging out in the center of the room, it just kind of shoots an energy projectile and just kind of stays wherever it lands. So this is actually the easier phase, in my opinion, because the other one tries to fake you out a little bit. Oh, that hurt. But this one actually is a lot more predictable because it does the projectile and then it tries to launch at you. Again, as long as you remember to strafe and you're really good at strafing, you should be able to handle this just fine. Honestly, most Metroid or Metroid Prime boss fights are really focused on strafing. You want to get really good at strafing. So, anyway. Well, we're out of missiles. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's go and collect this. I love the poses that Samus does, even right there. Like, it says right here, system alert, unknown item acquired. You could have just gathered a thing that can make you self-destruct, Samus. Why are you doing a pose like, yes? Anyway, enough about that, though. I like it anyway. So yeah, that's pretty weird what just happened. And if you're wondering what just happened exactly, don't worry. We'll see what happened in a little bit. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and go up this elevator. And yeah. Also, I always love that Metroid Prime does stuff like this. Like, I feel like in other games this would be just kind of like a flat surface, but you can actually shoot in between there. I like that a lot. Anyway. Also, yeah, this temple is just kind of located, like, in the air. Like, it's not like a sky temple, since we were able to obviously, you know, take an elevator to get up here. But it is pretty cool. Anyway. Oh, ain't that pretty. Hey, we found a live one, guys. Anyway, this is a weird alien species, and it's not a Chozo for once either. Although we haven't seen a Chozo in person until a new game that's going to come out soon. If you guys are seeing this post-Metroid Dread, I hope it was really good. I'm really excited to play through that game as well. But regardless, anyway, do not be afraid. I am Umos, Sentinel of the Luminoth. Please listen and hear of our world's peril. I'm trying to go off that weird alien voice he had. Long ago, a cosmic object fell to our planet Ether, exploding with great force. A rift was torn in time and space, and a strange power flowed over the world. Where once there was one Ether, there are now two, one of light and one of shadow, each existing in its own dimension. So yeah, we're finding out what's happening now. It was the end of peace on Ether, for a new race was born that day on the Dark World, one filled with hate and terrible power. They are the Ing. The Ing are creatures of shadow and darkness, knowing nothing of peace or mercy. For decades we stood against them, yet we now lie on the verge of defeat. When Dark Ether was born, our planetary energy was divided, half for our world and half for theirs. Should one world gain control of this energy, the other will perish. Before you arrived, the Ing had stolen a device from us, one that collects planetary energy. With it, they have weakened our planet to the verge of collapse. But fortune smiled upon us this day, for the energy transfer module is now bonded to you. Yep, that's what that light was. With it, you can help us restore our world. You're our only hope, Samus. Should we fall, the Ing will look to the stars for new planets to ravage and conquer. Your species could be their next victims. The Ing have taken our energy to 3 temples on Dark Ether. Find these temples and transfer the energy from them to our own. I have updated your map system with the location of another temple. There's knowledge there that can help you on your way. I've also updated your translator module. You can now access devices and doors coded with violet holograms. Many lands are now open to you. So I didn't point that out, but yeah, if you guys saw all these doors around me that kind of had these weird holograms on them, if I scanned them, it would say that I was unable to understand it. But now that I have this, I can actually understand it and actually interact with those doors, so that's pretty fun. These are kind of like soft upgrades that don't really actually, you know, give me any powers, but they also allow you to, you know, progress better in areas. It's basically a plot lock, as it were, which is a little reminiscent of the doors in Fusion, now that I think about it. Prepare well for your journey. The Ing now know you possess the energy transfer module. They will try to recover it at all costs. Return to me once you have restored the energy to a temple. I will aid you as I can. May the light of Ether shine upon you. Alright, So, in case you didn't understand any of that, one thing that's kind of interesting is that they just straight up explained the basic premise of the game this time. I'm going to go ahead and scan him. So this is Umos. I could go ahead and just read what it says. Subject is Umos, a sentinel of the Luminoth. Scans indicate numerous beneficial abilities, including heightened reflexes, durability, psionics, and flight. The ability to generate and manipulate energy on par with that of the Chozo. Dating scans suggest an age of 2.15 centicycles, only known active member of the species, remaining Luminoth locked in protective stasis until crisis is resolved. So, also something kind of interesting, when we arrived here, we actually arrived here not long, well, basically, the rest of the Luminoth, and I'll point that out in a little bit, they're actually in cryogenic stasis, like that said, and that didn't actually happen that long before this plot. When I replayed this game recently, I didn't realize it actually had not even been that long. I got the feeling it was, like, weirdly, like, maybe 100 years before or something for some reason. But yeah, anyway, so this is the energy controller, so we're gonna go ahead and read this. So, actually I could basically sum this one up. So basically these things were created to essentially stabilize energy on the planet. There will be some lore that will kind of elaborate on that. But basically, yeah, they essentially somehow condense planetary energy into these controllers, and it essentially helps to, you know, keep their technology flowing and also just kind of keep the planet under control. But yeah, then the meteor hit, and, you know, probably messing with stuff that controls the energy and life force of the planet may not have been a good idea. But that's okay. Anyway, here we go. We have some lore here. It is told that the Luminoth were not born of either, but of the stars. In the early days, we roamed the greatness of the void, bathing in the glorious light of 1,000 stars. We met a vast number of enlightened minds, the Enkren, the Yila, and the Chozo among them. Each of them we found had claimed a homeworld and formed a deep bond with it. In time, we decided to do the same. Alright. But yeah, anyway, so our basic premise for this game is that this world has been split into 2 dimensions. So we now have to try and reclaim the energy from the Dark Ether and essentially bring it back to the Light Ether. And hopefully that will get rid of Dark Ether. These guys have been at war with the Ing, the residents of that dimension, for a very long time. And the Ing can basically just possess creatures from this dimension and control them. And it's pretty friggin' scary. Let's go and scan this anyway. Object scan complete. Units identified as hybernetic stasis chambers. Life forms of hibernating bioforms within the chambers are steady. Chambers are made of a number of exotic metals. It would be quite difficult to breach them with conventional weapons. So yep, here are all of the Luminoth. So yeah, for a while I always kind of wondered, you know, so obviously they had these creatures here so that they could take them over and maybe try and attack Umos and get that energy controller. But the thing is, I think the reason they didn't is the creatures that they were able to get in here, maybe due to happenstance, were unable to actually take on Umos, since he actually does have the ability to fight with, like, light energy and stuff. That's what I choose to believe. I don't know if that's actually true, though. But, yeah, who knows. Hey, maybe they were hoping to breed a bunch of splinters and then have them all attack. Honestly, there are probably better creatures they could have found a way to finagle in here, but, I don't know. Don't think about it too much. Either way, the Ing are kind of in a weird position in terms of how they go about attacking creatures from the light world as well, because they can't actually survive in the light world at all without possessing something. So if there's nothing in here to possess, then maybe they can't even get up here because they would need something humanoid to activate these elevators. That's how I choose to interpret a lot of this. But yeah, it's a lot of questions, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, we're going to go ahead and head towards our first major region, which is going to be the Agan Wastes. So, a criticism this game got from at least a few reviews is that this game is kind of brown. What I mean by that is that compared to Metroid Prime 1, the general colors and vibe of this game are a lot less, like, colorful and, like, whimsical in terms of, like, the world aesthetic and everything. Oh boy. Oh, we can tell what's happening here. Yeah, we're gonna see the Ing try and possess them. But yeah, it's a lot less colorful than it is in Metroid Prime 1, and that is a genuine thing, I suppose. At the same time, though, I don't know, the art design in general for this game is, like, really cool, and it creates a very believable world design. Like, you can definitely, like, feel that this is a alien world, and there's a big cohesiveness to it. Whereas, like, Metroid Prime 1, if your suspension of disbelief is a little bit more fragile, you might be kind of annoyed at the fact that there's, like, you know, an ice biome and, like, all these other biomes, like, located, like, right next to each other. It might be seen as unrealistic. I never really minded that, obviously, since Metroid Prime 1 is my favorite of the two. For some of the reasons I actually outlined just now, I actually really like the variety to Metroid Prime 1, and I feel like Metroid Prime 1's focus on just pure atmosphere actually complements that game a lot. I like this game's story a ton, but at the same time, I will admit, I do feel this game is less immersive than Prime 1 to me. It's kind of an interesting trade-off, in my opinion. Although at the same time, I did still flinch at the splinter, so who knows. Anyway. Beyond this door, the path to the Agon Waste lies. Once fertile plains, now sands scorched and ruined by war. May life thrive there again one day. Yeah, so the Agon Wastes are kind of an interesting location. I'll point that out when we get there, but first things first, we're going to go ahead and scan this as well. So this is actually one of a few scans that is actually weirdly important. I'll go into this a bit later, but yeah, let's go ahead and read JFME's testament. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, final entry. Warrior JFME. Their warriors smell... I can't read. Okay, their army swells. Beasts and rogue machines join the ranks of the Horde, all eager to bring death to the Luminoth. The Ings sent these new additions to the industrial site to do battle with me, while they watch from safety. Cowardly mongrels. My only regret in death is that they did not live to see the day of their defeat. May it come soon. So that's a hint for later. You're going to want to keep an eye out for Luminoth that have like red scans like that, like their bodies just hanging out, because it's important. This game has one thing that I inherited from Prime 1 that is definitely seen as a little bit controversial. I don't really mind it in either game, but it is definitely a thing. So, anyway, we're going to head right in here. I think one thing that's kind of interesting, if you are someone that actually is not familiar with either Prime game and you're watching this, I hope you are enjoying it. In the case of this game versus the 2D Metroid games, it's kind of interesting because I feel like the Metroid Prime games have kind of a different design philosophy altogether. They're definitely geared more towards completionists as opposed to the 2D games, which I feel are more built around speedrunning. So that's kind of interesting. Anyway, let's go and read this. Our search for a home took us through the cosmos. For many a great cycle we roamed, yet a place to call our own eluded us. In time we began to despair, feeling the search was in vain. We considered remaining among the stars until a scout returned with news of a world unlike any other. When we beheld Ether for the first time, so great was her beauty that we forsook the stars forever to live upon her surface. From that day forth, the Luminoth were of Ether, our blessed paradise. They found a nice little home world. Really unfortunate that it didn't end up working out. Let's go ahead and head down here. Alright. Also, did you guys notice the catalyst for what caused the dimensional rift? I won't really say any more aside from the fact that, it was a meteor. Interesting. We're gonna go ahead and proceed. So, let's go ahead and scan this thing. So, there are a lot of things. Of course, there is a 100% scan thing if you want to collect all the, art book, I should say gallery icons and everything, artwork. I can't speak. But you want to get all of the gallery artwork, you are going to want to scan everything that is going to be going into your logbook. Also, I didn't even mention this last time, but there's a new little voice thing that speaks whenever you scan into the logbook. I never know what the heck it's saying. I know it says logbook, but that's the only thing I understand. But still. Anyway, we're going to head into the actual proper entrance for the Agon Waste, so here we go. Man, ain't this place pleasant. Oh gosh. So yeah, I will say this, in terms of aesthetics, this probably was not maybe the best choice for like the first major area to explore. For what it is, though, the general colors, if you are annoyed at the fact that we're exploring a desert first, don't worry. The world gets a lot more colorful as we progress, but it also definitely wants to have a bit of a tense atmosphere to it. One thing that's kind of interesting about the Agon Waste here, and some of the scan logs will kind of elaborate a little bit on what exactly happened to this area, but they kind of said it a bit ago as well. This place did not used to be a desert, and I'll leave it at that for now. But it's certainly an interesting little tidbit. So, yeah. So as you can see, there are now doors with yellow holograms. We cannot actually do anything with those yet, because we need to get another translator thing, so we're going to go ahead and progress for now. But, yeah. Anyway, I guess I have a question of the day, if I can think of one in a little bit, because I did that with my Metroid Samus Returns playthrough, and I think that turned out pretty well. I think it'd be pretty fun to just kind of ask you guys, you know, what, you know, your thoughts are on certain Metroid things. Do you guys, I guess here's the first one. Did you guys start with the 2D Metroid games or the Prime series? Because for me, I technically started with 2D Metroid, but I don't think but I didn't play them too far apart from each other, I'll say that much, because I played Fusion first, and I think I saw my brother-in-law play Metroid Prime 1 when I was a kid, and I thought the game looked really cool, partly because I saw Samus in Smash Bros, you know, a bunch, and I didn't realize that Samus was a girl. Can Metroid crawl? Yeah, I did not know any of that, and so I thought that was kind of interesting, though, when I went to actually play Metroid Fusion. But I ended up actually getting Metroid Prime 1 and Metroid Prime 2 at the same time, and I really like both for very different reasons. Fusion was kind of an interesting starting one because it's so different from the rest of the 2D Metroid series, but it's a game that I really liked a lot back then, but now I would not say it's my favorite Metroid by any stretch of the imagination. Hey, we got ourselves some space pirates, and they got a severe redesign after last game. I could not tell you why they look so different, but they do. They look different in every single Metroid Prime game, and it's a little weird. I don't know why. They also look very different from the 2D games as well. Maybe the space pirates, I mean, that just kind of makes sense because I feel like the space pirates are more of an sounds like an occupation, not a species. It might be that there's different like species of space pirates and stuff. I don't know. But it doesn't really change the fact that, yeah, these ones are pretty easy to take down provided you use charge shots. I've tried doing it with, you know, rapid firing the regular old beam and the missiles. Doesn't really end up doing much. So, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and proceed. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and go inside of here, and okay, so... Ah, yes, good old kinetic orb cannons. I love these things. Alright, I should not be going here yet. I just kind of realized, whoops. No, I gotta head upwards first, because this is just gonna lead me to a dead end if I don't have a certain thing for later. So let's go ahead and destroy that. And, okay, cool. Now, it's probably safe to say that the area we've entered now is probably this game's equivalent to the Chozo Ruins, I suppose. So this is pretty much just the starting area, and it's fairly linear. But one thing I kind of like about the world design of this game to a degree is that it's definitely a little more streamlined without actually sacrificing like the explorative nature of the game, I feel like. If you felt exploring around in Talon 4 and Metroid Prime 1 was kind of tedious, good news for you, it is not really that way anymore. This game is, again, very to the point in a lot of ways. You'll kind of know what I mean as I progress, but yeah. Anyway. Good old Shriek Bats. Gotta love them. Man, gotta love that every single Metroid world has the token enemy type. That's something for sure. I'm very curious what they are gonna do for Metroid Prime 4. But yeah, anyway, so we got ourselves our second boss fight. Hey, how about that? 2-in-1 video, let's go. Okay. So that is a big one of those enemies from the first room. And oh, looky here. It's happening again. Okay, so the real fight's starting now, so that's fun. Okay. Whoa. So what you gotta do with this one, also you're noticing now, it's actually using Morph Ball bombs. That's weird, right? Well, hey, we'll get that explained in a little bit. Actually, I don't think this really needs that much explanation. Basically, these things are the Ing, and they possess all of these creatures, so we're fighting, you know, that monster now possessed by an Ing. But, specifically, this is one of the ones that stole our stuff. So how about that? Anyway, let's go ahead and shoot this thing's face. Wow, I legitimately cannot believe how much better the charge beam is than the missiles. Because I should have been using the charge beam when I was doing my practice run. The heck? Okay. I don't know, I guess like I've been playing so much 2D Metroid games, I just like have been forgetting how busted the charge shot is in these. Alright, well how about that? Hey. So, it's time for us to collect a power-up that we had stolen from us. I'm not sure the jumping in the air was necessary there, Samus, but hey, look cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and bomb this, and hey, you're gonna notice that that worked, except I didn't really focus on it, but that's okay. Yeah, there we go. Alright, time to head towards plot, because that's obviously where this is going. So that teaches you very quickly that you can actually gain your old abilities back by defeating bosses. In that sense, that's another thing that it kind of borrows from Metroid Fusion a little bit, so that's kind of fun. Anyway, let's go ahead and bomb jump into that, and there we go. Also, yeah, this game in general uses the Morph Ball a lot more than Metroid Prime 1. You're gonna see that in particular when we get into the second major region, but yeah, for sure, it's a definite thing with this game, and I actually quite like it a lot. So let's head over here, and alright. Oh yeah, you're also going to notice, if you were to go over here, yep, there's another hologram, but we cannot read that one yet, so we're just going to head over here, and hey, looky there. That's an interesting thing to scan. It's right by that dead body, too. Okay. Welcome, I am Isha, Sentinel of the Agon Temple. This message survives my death, as guidance to the one who would fight the Ing. So yep, that is Isha on the ground there. Sucks. A portal to Dark Ether lies nearby. With it, you can travel to this land's shadow. You must locate a dark temple, a twisted mockery of this sacred place. Inside, you will find the energy controller you seek. The temple door is held fast by 3 locks. The keys for the locks are hidden throughout that dark land. Your search will be difficult. Even the very air of Dark Ether is dangerous and can cripple the strongest of warriors. In our past struggles with the Ing, we placed a series of light crystals throughout their world. They remain today. These crystals create safe areas that will protect you from the harmful atmosphere of the Dark World. I have updated your translator module. You can access devices and doors coated with amber holograms. More lands are open to explore. Also, I've never actually had... So, this area has a thing with lightning bolts. I've never had one of them actually hit me or, like, land on me. I think I got it close one time. I've never had it happen. But if someone has had that happen, does it do anything? I'm pretty sure it doesn't. But it'd be really fun if you just got, like, an instant game over. Now, that one looked like it got pretty close. When you have taken the energy from the Dark Temple, return here at once. May the light of Ether serve you well. I'm pretty sure it's just cosmetic, though. Just the lightning. Well, either way. Man. So how do you go out, buddy? Bioscan complete. Luminoth subject terminated 1.5 decacycles ago. Damage from multiple weapon systems detected. Subject definitely went out fighting. Well, that's good at least. But yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and scan this one and we'll get some more lore. So here we go. Ether's planetary energy supply reached a critical stage. If left unchecked, the energy would expire, bringing an end to the world. Our greatest minds devised a way to preserve and regulate the remaining planetary energy. The energy controllers. Yep. So that's like I explained earlier. So yeah, basically those things were meant to kind of regulate the planet's energy because otherwise it would run out. So yeah, that's interesting. How does the energy work? Not explained. Not really that important. But hey, there you go. That's the explanation for how this whole dimensional rift happened in the first place. So when we get into the meat of this, though, one major inspiration for this game, actually, in terms of this whole light world, dark world concept, may already be obvious to you if you're familiar with the game, but one of its major inspirations was Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. So in that game, basically, when you got to the Dark World, you were able to actually go to these warp points, and it would actually take you back and forth between the worlds. And actually, in other Zelda games that had similar concepts, basically, you would be able to influence one world from the other side, and there would be like these portals that would exist just to kind of hop you in from one thing and then pop you out the other. And so this game actually kind of borrows a lot of that sort of level design a lot, because we haven't really got into the dimension hopping stuff yet, but when we do, it's actually pretty darn cool. So, yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and scan that, and then that will open that door. So, yeah, let's go ahead and go in. Okay. Hey, look at that. We got ourselves a missile tank. That's pretty good. Alright. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and actually backtrack to the first major screen of this area. So, yeah, I have a reason for doing that, obviously. This part's getting a bit longer there, and I know where a save point is, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and backtrack a bit. Plus, we'll be able to collect a certain thing that will be helpful for exploring this area anyway. Although, I won't personally need it, which should tell you what it is, but hey, that's okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and go here. And this actually should help me out a bit, too, in terms of exploring the Dark Ether anyway. So there we go. We got ourselves an energy tank. A lot of the time I pick this up later, but you know what? Probably better I pick it up now. So there we go. Anyway, let's head back over here. And okay. Cool, cool, cool. Alright. But yeah, again, I do hope you guys are enjoying this playthrough. Next part is going to be a bit of a doozy, because we're going to get into the actual main gimmick of this game, as it were, and I'm really looking forward to that. But first things first, we are going to go ahead and go on over to that door, because that's just the best way to go about this, in my opinion. So let's head over here, scan it, and okay. So yeah. Again, if you are familiar enough with the game's level design, you don't really have to worry about this. Again, I just bombed a thing back there. But, hey, looky here. We got ourselves another map. So that's pretty good. Alright. Cool, cool, cool. So we have downloaded the map for this area. Sweet. So it's going to bring that up right now. And you're going to see that this area over here is kind of located nearby to us. But we are actually not able to get to this area for quite a while. I'll point that out when we need to go back there, but for now we cannot actually go to that spot. So just keep that in the back of your brain, your good old Metroid backtracking side of your brain. Although it's actually pretty optional what is there. Again, we'll talk about that later, but it's pretty cool. Anyway, we're going to head over here and right. So this room actually has another entrance, but we cannot actually go there quite yet. But I could go ahead and show you guys just to kind of, you know, show you guys why I cannot actually backtrack or go through this way quite yet. Oh dear. You know, I haven't actually tried going through this way in quite a while. Fun fact, all those like weird little like niches up there in the top part there, I kept thinking that I can morph ball bomb into them because they're just so like weirdly shaped. But yeah, as you can see, this gate here is actually keeping me from progressing. There's actually nothing I can do about it on this side. So again, we're going to worry about that later. But yeah, I kept thinking I could morph ball bomb up there. Nope, I cannot. But hey, at least going back this way is a lot faster. So there we go. Anyway, with that, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into this part of Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and yeah, I'm interested to play the rest of this game. Again, this one is my second favorite Metroid game of all time, and in general, I'm happy to be getting into the flow of actually exploring and everything. The story in this game is really good, and in general, I just like the atmosphere, everything, to be honest. There's not a lot I really dislike about this game, so yeah, looking forward to sharing it. So I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. Take care, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.